Looking at this word pious because I've been, when I decode a movie, well, when I watch a movie, I try to decode as I go along, and Pious was in the movie The Deathly Hallows Part 1, and so I was looking at his name because this is, this is a really actually important name over the centuries, so these are really good ones to work on. And also it has pi in it, so we can see just on the surface of this name that if you are pious, you are good, because they worship pi. So that really says a lot, and I'm surprised I didn't put that together before now. But what I noticed right away was that you have your 169, which is your 169th day of the year, and the 169th day of the year with 196 remaining is June 18th. And this comes kind of back to our 816 investigation that we were looking at. So it's interesting that they would create pi to encode it has the digits of phi. And we know that there's a lot of mathematical relationships between pi and phi. I don't have those formulas handy, but so real quick before this camera dies, let's see if there's enough light. Anyway, I like this camera better because my voice sounds a little bigger. I mean, like, I don't have to increase the voice, and also I don't have to convert the media. Yay! Okay, so you guys think that's interesting, that this is the 169th day, which is okay, 618, and 618 has to do with the words F and R. Ooh, sorry, you didn't see that. I'm trying to get better at writing on camera here. F and R, which are your first two letters of free. I have a blog post on this, and I'll probably just do a scribbling video too. So, yeah, anyway, so pious has to do with how whole you are, holy. Have you done the full circle? Have you... I'm starting to get the picture that, that, like, say we have 3 at the bottom here, and maybe 9 at the top and 6 on the sides. And if you have done the full circle, you have the flexibility to go back and forth between these. You are what a Toltec teacher would say. You are a fluid warrior. And I am going to start to bring some more Toltec in here, because I feel like the more wisdom that we draw from, the better balanced picture we're going to get. So a fluid warrior is someone who does not attach himself to anything but truth. Actually, infinity in the form of truth. You could say infinite truth. So this is another way in which my dear beloved Christians, they put shackles on themselves by anchoring themselves down in concepts, flawed concepts for one thing, judgments, opinions, all these things. You can hold an opinion lightly in your hand. This is why I put things in the maybe box or the probably not box, and I know that I do have prejudices. But if you know you have prejudices, you can catch them as soon as they snag you. They're like walking through briars, right? And a fluid warrior is free and can go up and down, can come back to free other people. Otherwise, he would come up. If he wasn't a fluid warrior and he hadn't laid down all his self-importance and all of his judgments, he would just stay up here at the top and judge these people at the bottom. Oh, you guys, why can't you climb? No, he comes back and he teaches. And he teaches with love. And sometimes teaching with love is calling people out on their blind spots. And this is what I'm doing with Christians and other clubs like academia, just clubs. You guys, you feel safe in your club, and you need to give up that safety. You need to give up the safety and go for truth, infinite truth. Anyway, that's the whole idea behind free. You have like a two-way ticket, a passage in and out of the dome. That's what the double E is. Okay, so we have Pious here. this is the 169th day of the year. Now, oh, excuse me. I had, sorry, I'm bending over and then I need to get a better position for this. The OUS is a suffix, and we talked about convenient suffixes before, like ED is a 9, which doesn't change the code. This, of course, does change the code, but we can see it's a very interesting suffix. It's the 5-5, which is bum bum bum, but it's also the 23 plus the 32, right? And those are the two aspects of our pentacle. And it's also the 22, which is the lowest level of the dome. This is the lowest, the people who are at the lowest level of evolution that you will meet are at the 22, unless they're damaged or subhuman. The first level of human is 22, and then you rise in your evolution until you go to 33, which is the first degree beyond freezing. And then that's 55. So the combination of that is 55. So I think they're saying you get this feeling of alarm. This is the Snape number, has to do with this movie. Pious was the Ministry of Magic that got caught by the Dark Lord. Ministry of Magic. That's your 26, your 1313. That's also on the Georgia Guidestones. All of this is tied together, you guys. J.K. Rowling was not some country bumpkin out there in, the countrysides of England, or, a single mom with no connections. Don't buy that story. We're not going to get fooled again. We can tell that she's a smart lady and she has inside connections. There is nothing in these movies that doesn't have 6 layers of code on it. So it's all very interesting, and I've learned a lot about these numbers from the movies. Alright, so if we add all this together, and I haven't done this before, so I hope it's interesting. The 16 plus the 9 is 25. Now, sometimes I look at the 25, I'm like, I think that's a boring number. But if I can just remember when I see 25 that it could be code for pi. It could be code for the 169th day, right? Besides being a 7, which means it's one of the ways. Well, that's kind of interesting because we have 2 ways. Where's a fresh piece? Okay, so we have 2 ways. There's your 7. This is ISIS, but these are also divergent 7s. We have 2 ways, and it's interesting that pi shows kind of like one way. So I actually think it's a potential of 2 ways, but I do think that since they use the word in the positive here, pious means good, that they are talking about one way, the good way. Okay, so anyway, 25 plus 55 is 80. Okay, so here we have our 8, which is the original Ankh gods. There were 4. Go up here. There were 4 of the A, N, K, H, and since this is my second time referring to this, I'm going to try to go over here to my notes and show you what I learned about these guys. Oh, I don't think I have their references, but these are the A, N, K, H gods and their opposites. They embody their opposite. And these are the original I think the Egyptians called them the Ogdoad, and it has to do with the secret of the Ankh. I'm trying to load that up. Gosh, I wish I didn't. I make mistakes a lot, and I've made a lot of mistakes on these videos, and it costs me. I have to do the whole redo. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about the 8, is that Pious would take 8 to another level. Okay. Alright, that was your decode of the word pious. I hope you liked it. I hope you're having a good day.